Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the channel. We've got a load of Overwatch information to cover in this video. Jeff Kaplan has performed a fantastic interview with PC Games N, and we're going to break that down because there's loads of information in that on Overwatch 2, loot systems, toxicity, loads and loads of stuff. However, before we get into that, I want to show you guys the brand new San Francisco Shock Championship skin. Now, this isn't the MVP skin. That skin is still unannounced, and that will be Sinatra's specific skin, which we believe will be for Zarya. But I want to show you guys this. This is the championship skin. This is an incredible skin. It's for Doomfist, and it's a San Francisco Shock inspired skin. And what I've done here is broke down some of the official announcements so we can kind of see the skin in action and the way it looks. It looks incredible. This looks like a skin that is a top tier legendary skin. I think what's happening is, though, it doesn't look like an Overwatch League skin. But the problem is, does that really matter? Like, to me, and on Twitter, I did say this, that it looks like an anniversary event skin. It's a really good skin, don't get me wrong, and it's got some awesome special effects. Like, when you use the ultimate, when you hit the ground, the SF logo appears in the ground. Now, it isn't actually the SF logo that San Francisco Shock used. It's like a variation on it. So, it is a really technical, a really cool skin. But does it look like, you know, the Spitfire skin from last year, which was like, hey, it's Winston as a Spitfire, basically, which was, hey, it's cool. It's all Spitfire colors. It's got Spitfire logos on. This skin isn't like that. The question I want to put to you guys is, does that matter? I think this is a great skin, but is it a championship skin? I don't know. Maybe it's a different take on it. I mean, look at that. It looks so cool. That looks so cool. But it's not really the San Francisco Shock logo. I don't know. But in terms of epic skins, I think this is just incredible. Let me know what you think about this, guys, in the comments below. Okay, now we're going to move on to breaking down this interview that PC Games N has done with Jeff. And this is just great. All right, let's get stuck into it. I think we learned a lot in terms of player behavior and how they treat one another. I play a lot of competitive online games, and I have for years. And I'm very used to how people treat each other online, and it's terrible. I'm not trying to make excuses for it. People are just horrible to one another. And for me, because I'm a game designer, I ask myself, why are they doing this? A lot of it is anonymity. It's the same reason why when driving down the road, it's okay to flip somebody off. I would never turn to my colleague and flip him off. I would, but it's a natural thing. This is what Overwatch has done to me. It's broke me. But it's a natural thing that people do on the road. And I ask, well, why is that okay? It's because we dehumanize the other person and there's anonymity to it. So I really like that. And I thought, hey, let's just open the Jeff interview section with this quote from the article, because this is Jeff like showing a bit of frustration and also saying, look, guys, we can't fix human nature. People will be annoying little gits online, and it happens all the time. I mean, Overwatch, everybody's done it in Overwatch. I've done it. You've done it. Everybody has done it in Overwatch to some degree. It is frustrating because you have to rely on other people, and that's just the nature of the beast. So it's interesting to see Jeff really let loose there, because he's never really done that before, especially not in these public interviews. There are two big things happening in year 4. The first is the development team changing focus. I don't want to say exclusively, but a heavy focus to Overwatch 2. In the past, we've been lightly focusing on Overwatch 2 and mostly focusing on the live game. And now we're shifting as many resources towards Overwatch 2 as possible. This is the heaviest statement Jeff has made so far about the fact Overwatch 2 is now the primary development of the Overwatch team. It is not Overwatch. Now, this begs the question, what is coming to Overwatch this year? Will we get new stuff? And there are bits and pieces I will show you guys in a second that are from this interview, where Jeff does talk about some little bits and bobs which are coming to Overwatch. But very much so, it's just about Overwatch 2 now, and that's it. So deal with it. Overwatch, yep, it is how it is. It's in the final year of its life, effectively. Overwatch 2 comes out when, I mean, we still don't know when that comes out. Does it come out this year? Does it come out next year? Who knows? But yeah, Overwatch 2 is now the main focus. At the same time, year 4 has also been a great time for experimentation for us. We've been a little precious with our balancing. We've been precious with our testing things internally and not wanting to freak out the player base or disrupt them. In year 4, we feel like there's a maturity to the audience who's still with us. Now, take that as you will, ladies and gentlemen, where they want change. They want us to try things out, and they're okay if we try something out, it doesn't work, us changing it again. So you're seeing hero pools, you're seeing the experimental card. We've done a lot of really aggressive balance changes. We've already done dozens of balance changes, and we're only in March so far. It's very different philosophy. Early on, we were all about stability and trying to keep the service as stable and as similar as possible. You don't want to disrupt people. Everything was new to them to begin with, But 2020, players want newness thrust upon them, and we can give them that. So this I like, right? But I think it's also a little bit of an explanation as to why, hey, the game was really slowly balanced for a very long time, which personally I think was the wrong move, because there was periods of Overwatch where it was not great to play. Now it's fine, but it was not great to play. We've got things coming in like hero pools, map pools, and all of that stuff, and it does make the game interesting to play. But we'll get on to what Jeff thinks about that in a second, because there's some really nice stuff on that. We're actually working on some summer game stuff right now. Again, we're not adding a new sport. There won't be a new Lucio Ball or Lucio Hockey is what everyone really wants. I think that's just what Jeff wants, probably, because apparently he's a big hockey fan. We won't be adding that, but we're putting some cool twists on the existing content to try to keep the game fresh. So there you go. This is like, hey, Summer Games is coming back, but it's going to have little bits and bobs again attached to it, very much like the way Archives is right now, where you've got these little different like weekly challenges that happen, little sort of modifiers that are put into the game, which honestly I believe are probably we're going to see them in Overwatch 2 for the hero missions, which of course are, as far as we know, daily missions which just have random elements to them. So yeah, expect to see some of that for the Summer Games. As far as cosmetic items go, there are two types of players in Overwatch. There are the types who only care about gameplay, and there are the types of players who care about the cosmetic content. And those who care about the cosmetic content care about it a lot. That's not changing at all for this year. There's going to be amazing stuff. I was just looking over the shoulder of the concept artists at some of the skins, and I know that our players are going to lose their minds when they see those. So we've seen Jeff talk about this before. The skins are always amazing. They're always mind-blowing. They're always the best things we're ever going to see. Now, it is Blizzard, and they do generally make really good cosmetic items, cosmetic skins for the Overwatch heroes. In fact, there's probably only a handful of skins which people might consider to be bad. The rest of them are incredibly good. However, yeah, it's just going to stay the same in terms of content output in that regard. But it's interesting to see Jeff break down the types of players, people that like gameplay, and then people that just like skins. It's interesting to say that. Then we have fun stuff for later in the year. Nothing that we can announce right now, but in the way that Ash's Mardi Gras event was a surprise, there's some more things like that on the way. I think they're pretty cool, with some themes and other content that I don't think people are expecting. Should be good. So yeah, we're going to see more of these mini events just crop up, which is fine, you know, generally tied to a skin. I don't mind it. Gives you an excuse or a reason to play Overwatch to unlock the skins. I don't mind that. Okay, let's move on to some stuff about the actual flow and the balance of the game and systems in the game and all this stuff. Now, this is really interesting stuff. All right, so let's get into it. So you guys can see the big quote on the screen there. Should barriers even be in the game? Ask Jeff. Okay, so Jeff says this. There are some things that I have long-term concerns about Overwatch. Strictly within game balance and game mechanics, the one that I wrestle the most with currently is the role of tanks and how impactful they may or may not be. And the difference between a tank with a barrier and a tank without a barrier, and how strong should a barrier be? Should barriers even be in the game? Interesting stuff, that is, because yes, we've debated barriers to death on this channel, and everybody has in the Overwatch community. But it is interesting to see Jeff straight up say, look, barriers have always been an issue for us, and you know we always think about ways we can work with them. I mean, look at Echo. Echo has an ability which basically deletes barriers if they're under 50% HP. And of course, we had the barrier nerfs recently and all of that stuff. It's fascinating. Reinhardt, more than any other character, is a weird pivot on the game. Players are very accepting of Reinhardt. They love Reinhardt. They're less accepting of our other barrier tanks like Orisa and Sigma. Not surprising, those are newer heroes. But the impact that a shield... Okay, I'm going to stop that actually, because I don't think that's correct. I don't think that people like Orisa and Sigma, or hate them more actually than Reinhardt, because they're newer heroes. If you look at Reinhardt from a pure like game design point of view and the mechanics that he's got, when his barrier is deployed, he can't do anything else. He's in defensive mode. When it's down, he's in offensive mode. Every other barrier tank is dropping a barrier and doing something else. Now, we won't include Winston in this, because Winston has always been the exception. He's the dive tank. But let's look at Sigma. Let's look at Orisa. They drop their barriers down, and then they carry on doing damage and doing other stuff and got loads of other abilities. I think that's what's frustrating to players, because you don't have that easy read of like, oh, there's the Reinhardt barrier, and then he's defensive, right? Or he's dropped it, he's going to be offensive. I think that's the difference there. I don't agree with what Jeff says there. Anyway, the impact of a shield brings, having the barrier versus not having the barrier, and the long-term implications of what it means to add new tanks and if they have a barrier or not. So if you were to ask me, what's the game director thinking about at this exact moment in terms of long-term issues to be worked out eventually, in the short term, I think we're in good shape. So there you go. So long-term issues for Jeff are power levels of tanks and whether they should have barriers. That's really interesting. Weirdly, I think there's so much good about the 3-2-1 experiment, but I don't feel comfortable pushing it to live in 2020. What Overwatch 2 becomes for us is another great opportunity. It's a moment where people expect and are hoping for radical change. This is what a sequel is all about. You're not just going to give us the same game, right? So as developers, I think we can all be excited about the opportunity that Overwatch 2 brings for, okay, it's time. We've been playing the same game for many years now. It's time to move on to the next thing. This is very telling. This is Jeff saying, look, we're moving on to the next thing here. Overwatch 2 is what this is all about. It's no longer really about Overwatch. And he said this earlier on with the quote I used at the start of the video, where, you know, he's saying, look, Overwatch 2 is the primary development. So this is Jeff changing people's focus, I guess, to say, hey, let's start focusing on Overwatch 2 now rather than Overwatch. And the problem is, like, we don't know when Overwatch 2 is coming out. And I feel, honestly, like the announcement of Overwatch 2, while it was really good with all the trailers and all of the gameplay stuff and whatever, it was weird because they didn't have crucial stuff like, we don't know how much it costs, we don't know when it's coming out, we don't know how it's like, what's the monetization. There's all these questions which really they should have had in place as they announced it, because if they said, hey, Overwatch 2 and it's coming out in February 2021, everybody's like, right, okay, we know it's coming out in February 2021, or it's coming out in November 2020. You know, it's like, okay, we know it's coming out, we look forward to it, but there isn't that, and it's like that's a massive failing in my eyes. Well, we have made a lot of changes to loot boxes and how they work over the years, so we're definitely open to change. Overwatch 2, in terms of a business model, we're exploring different options that move us away from loot boxes, but I think that will be more for Overwatch 2 than the core game. I would never rule anything out. I think battle passes are cool. Putting monetization to the side, a battle pass is a fun engagement mechanism. If you look at a game like Diablo 3, they have what's called the Season Journey, which is, in essence, a battle pass. It's not monetized in any way, it's just a bunch of cool content. These are the things you should be doing in the game, and if you do, we're going to reward you. I think that's an awesome system. So could this be Jeff teasing that we get a battle pass system for Overwatch 2, but it's a free battle pass system? That would be incredible. That would actually be incredible if that was true. So you basically buy the game, and then you get free battle passes forever. That would be great. Now, whether they do that, I don't know. Personally, I put my money on they get rid of loot boxes, as Jeff kind of says they will here. They go to like a Fortnite-style store with rotating skins that you can directly buy for currency, and then they sell a battle pass. And then they sell the game, probably, because it's Activision Blizzard. Maybe they give the game away for free. Who knows? But we need information on this. This is the gutter. It's the real gutter. And I don't mean like the gutter is it's in the gutter. I mean, I'm gutted. It's probably British slang, I don't know, but it's a gutter to me because I want to know like when this game is coming out and what monetization systems it'll have. And sitting here like in limbo land, it's driving me crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Overwatch attracted a large audience. We've had over 50 million people play the game, and for many of those people, I hear the story. I've never played an online shooter before, or Overwatch was my first Blizzard game, or my first online game. My first reaction when people say that, there's toxicity in Overwatch, I'm like, well, yeah, let me show you what some other games look like. It is roses and candy over here compared to, but that's not fair. You can't let yourself off with an excuse of, we're doing better than most people. It's much worse elsewhere. I don't really have much more to say to that. I mean, yeah. I think there are two main ways to tackle behavioral problems, and we need both. One is punishment and enforcement. I don't know if people realize this, but if they share with us, whether it's through customer support or through our social media, any incidents that are viewed as hostile, we jump on it right away. That's actually really cool info. We action those players immediately. The more we can have active, real human beings looking at what's happening and evaluating is great. But also, automated systems are great so that certain things never get said in the first place. And then there is this positive direction, which are systems like the LFG, the endorsement system, and social systems that encourage people to play with and be respectful of each other. Honestly, I think Roll Queue automatically did that. Right away, you and I aren't in a match like, why are you playing the third damage? You should switch to support. Automatically through game design, we eliminated that conversation ever happening again in Overwatch. Yeah, which is good. Which is something I've argued for literally years and years and years, but you guys know, and finally it's in the game. We don't have to talk about it again. Roll queue's done, Sty. Forget about it. I'll forget about it, okay? Cool. I'll give you an example of some tweaks and changes we've explored. We're not necessarily pulling the trigger on these. These are just like brainstorm ideas. But if that Mercy main issue is real, and I think it is, maybe hero pulls should be daily. Now, this is Jeff talking about, he was asked the question that, hey, hero pools are great, but if I'm a Mercy main and all I want to do is play Mercy and you ban her for a week, then I don't play Overwatch. And this is Jeff addressing that. So he goes on to say, that causes other problems and it really makes it hard for any meta to solidify. But is that Mercy main okay? For a couple of hours at night, they can't play Mercy. Another idea is maybe hero pools only apply to a certain skill rating, like Masters and above, because the reality is the meta only really truly exists at around that level. The rest of us just complain about what we hear everybody else saying, like, yeah, I'm mad about that, but we're not actually playing it. So, a bit of a bombshell there that they may be considering restricting hero pools to Masters and above. Would you guys like to see that? That's an interesting topic. But there you go, guys. This has been a roundup of the PC Games interview. There is a link in the video description below to the full interview if you guys want to check it out. But I've pretty much picked out the most interesting points here. It's always cool to get this level of insight from Jeff. And yeah, there's some big takeaways from this. And I want you guys to let me know what you think about this in the comments. I also want you to tweet me on @Stylosa. You can also follow me on Instagram on the same handle as well, @Stylosa. But let me know what you think about this, because I'm out here and I'm like, yeah, I don't mind Overwatch, but I'm probably like you guys right now, where yeah, I had fun playing Echo, but now I'm like in this holding pattern of like, well, Echo, when she comes out live, she'll be fun again to play for a bit, and then it's like, well, what am I actually doing? Like, am I playing Overwatch like some madman 10 hours a day? No, I mean, I haven't done that for a long time. You know, I'm probably playing Overwatch. Honestly, I'm probably, at this point, if you averaged out my playtime for Overwatch, probably, I'd say an hour and a half a day over the week. And that wouldn't be every day. That would be, you know, I can tell you right now, I haven't played Overwatch for 2 days as recording this video, because I've been playing Half-Life Alex on my VR headset, which is great. And I've been playing Doom Eternal, which is awesome as well. But yeah, over the week, you know, I might play today for 3 hours. Then I might play 4 hours the next day, and then that might be it. So we need Overwatch 2, I think, and we need like a massive injection of new stuff to the game, and that is Overwatch 2. So Blizzard have got to, I guess, hurry up and give us the game, because I'm out here like, oh man, give me more Overwatch. Anyway, guys, I've waffled too much. Thank you for watching the video, and remember, if you loved it, do like the video, leave a comment below, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell if you really, really loved it, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Toodaloo.